If you were a middle school student in the 2010s, the name Scratch should not be new to you. But if you also kept up with its games, then the name Griffpatch shouldn't be surprising to you either. Griffpatch is the most popular Scratch game developer by a mile, and one of his more popular creations you might have heard of is Scratchnapped, a game he released all the way back in 2013. Scratchnapped is a very classic style platformer, filled with your standard collectibles and enemies to dodge as you navigate through the levels to save kidnapped children. Yeah, I know. But as the years passed, people slowly started to forget about Scratchnapped. There were still people playing, but it wasn't nearly as popular as it was in the first few years of its release. Now we're in 2018. Everything changed when Griffpatch released a spin-off to the original game called Scratchnapped Adventure. In contrast to the original Scratchnapped, with its bigger levels and more creative platforming, Scratchnapped Adventure is more of a modern platform, with a much more linear design with more fast and fluid controls. No, you don't save kidnapped children anymore, don't worry. And this game not only interested the casual Scratch gamers, it also caught the eyes of the Scratch speedrunning community. For a game so simple in both its design and gameplay, you might be surprised to hear if speedrunners have any interest in this game. But over the next 7 years, speedrunners would tear this game apart, finding crazy exploits that require task-level precision, frame-perfect tricks to save huge amounts of time.
Oh my god, it's over! It's fucking over!
In 2019, the first ever speedrun of Scratchnapped Adventure had been done by Rens2. The player went through 3 levels. Level 1 was fairly optimized. Great platforming skills were used to pass through all the enemies and obstacles and finish off. However, past this run was fairly unoptimized. The player had unnecessarily stopped at places and paused. Before talking about the next run, I'll need to explain the core game mechanics. You can wall jump, kinda like New Super Mario Bros., and you have time to jump after hitting the top of a wall, since you latch onto it. And obviously you can run. Well, your top speed is rocket speed, so I guess walk and jump. Alright, back to the video. Fast forward to 2020, a far more optimized run was completed by Logan Clapp, also known as Yorick Double. In level 1, he actually saved several seconds compared to the previously seemingly perfect performance from Rens. How? By sliding on a slope, you can actually gain speed. Luckily, there was a slope near the start of the level, but there was a dilemma. There's an enemy right on it, and you can't slow down to let it pass. So, you'll need to precisely slide before hitting that enemy to prevent losing speed. But since Logan was a god gamer, he was able to do this fairly consistently. It's not that hard. Now he's made it to level 2. Wait, do you see here? There's an extra slope to gain speed off of. It's actually much more precise for gaining speed than the one in level 1 though, since you need to click down on the perfect frame, or a few frames, to gain such speed, as it's a really short slope compared to the one in that previous level. But he managed to do it. Afterwards, he does some decent platforming and makes it to level 3. He starts off by using the slope to gain speed, bounces off the enemy, and gains just barely more speed from the second slope. Then he precisely jumps off to make it between the brick block and coin block without bonk. Then he does some more decent platforming that we'll get into once more tricks are discovered, when the level gets more interesting. Oh yeah, and he finishes with a time of 153.283 RT, significantly faster than Ren's run. 7 months later, the record was snatched by a player by the name of KingYeti. He actually lost time in level 2 by not going for the precise slope boost we call Fast 2. But he uses 2 time saves in the same level, one being wall jumping between the brick blocks and wall precisely, and getting to the other brick blocks and jumping over to the next one. In Logan's run, he used the intended way, crouching under the small pathway, although that loses time since crouching slows you down. On top of that, he bonks right here. He also saves time by jumping frame perfectly to get over this point. He keeps his pace and he finishes the game at an astounding time of 1 minute, 52 seconds, and 560 milliseconds. In 2021, a new glitch was performed by Yeti, the level 3 plant jump. This was different from the level 1 plant jump. This one required 2 jumps. 1 precise jump to hit the correct pixel on the wall, 2 to actually click jump frame perfectly where you're at that pixel. Even though this was difficult, KingYeti managed to do it. Not even full level, full run. Although the 151 barrier was not broken yet. Until it was. Yeah, it just requires cleaner movement, I guess. 4 days later, the 150 barrier was broken. This run he used Fast 2, but also this other trick called Fast Stairs in level 1. This trick was possible by sliding on the last 2 frames possible before hitting the enemy during slow boost. Then at the end, landing as early on the thorn step as possible, and doing a shorter jump than you think you need to. The run ends at 150.767.
Yes!
1 full year later, a runner by the name of Memesbro beat Yeti's world record by 34 milliseconds. Finally! New competition! 7 months later, KingYeti strikes back, saving exactly 100 milliseconds, but that was all insignificant. Only 1 day later, a runner by the name of Jump beat Yeti by a half a second, ending at a time of 150.06 seconds. But how can you save that much time? Surely it's not all from clean movement. Well, you'd be right. See, I haven't told you something. A few months before KingYeti's run, a new glitch was discovered. A glitch so hard it swipes the difficulty of even 1-3 plant jump. It also makes 1-3 plant jump way harder. I'll let my friend Run123 explain this glitch.
Let's say Scratchnapped is moving at a speed of 8.3 psi, but if you press left, he will slowly lose all of his speed before he can fully run to the left. But if you press left and immediately press right, Scratchnapped will instantly lose all of his momentum, so he can move left instantly, so he can't wait for his speed to decrease. This is called the quick turn glitch. If Scratchnapped will wall jumps and then he does the quick turn glitch, he is able to grab onto the same wall and wall jump again.
Wait, Jump didn't use fast 2 or fast stairs in his run, which made KingYeti think, well, maybe his thinking has a 1-year delay, since he didn't snatch the world record until 1 year later.
Many months later.
Yeah, 148 was done by Element XZ, and he was slower than his previous PB at the end of level 2. Well, subscribe and I'll deep dive, and a part 2 will be made. It was probably just a clone of GWJ, but you never know. Oh yeah, that reminds me, a new glitchy wall jump strat was discovered that was faster and easier, so that's nice. Thank you, the one and only Element, for drafting the intro script, and Memesbro for your help in the rest of the script. And my friend Run123 for explaining GWJ. Well, bye-bye!